everybody. Super excited that you're all here this morning. I'm just going to give people a few minutes to show up. So I'm going to begin by burning a little bit of smudge, a little sage. So today is the first day of May, and it is Beltane. Good morning, Vanessa. How are you this morning? Nice to see you. All right, so just beginning this meditation with a little bit of smudge. All right. Okay. So please be sure to put out any questions that you have. Later today, I am really good, thank you. I'm glad that you're doing well. I'm going to read a little bit later today the story for the month of May, Listening Woman. Good morning, Talia. So the story from the 13 original clan mothers. So my intention was to read this morning. I'm still not totally clear on exactly what's coming through yet for this morning. So please be sure if you guys have any questions to happy Friday, to put questions out there. I just did I had someone message me, good morning, Vanessa, message me a question, and that was really great. And I think maybe I'm gonna do that again here. So I did one on Instagram about that question, and I think maybe I'm gonna do it here because yeah, it's interesting how being on Instagram Live always feels a little bit like a warm-up. I don't know why. I guess because it's the first 30 minutes, you know? And so, yeah, so I think I will address that question again here on the Facebook Live. So let's just begin with... I'm going to begin by sharing the question, and then we'll go into a bit of a meditative state, and we'll see what comes through there, okay? Okay, so the question was, so when gaining clarity from spirit around a hard choice, when the answer is open to going a few different ways, and spirit is essentially mirroring that I create my life, how to figure out what is the highest good? What clarifying questions can I ask? What process to go through? So this is an amazing question. And so many things come to mind. So before I just start kind of like talking about it, I want us to do the first thing, good morning, that I always do when I'm sitting with something big, wherever it is I am in my process of that decision making. I come into a state of self-reflection. So let's go ahead and just do come into a place of connecting with the body first. So let's close the eyes. And actually I'm hearing to drum a little bit for this. So that's what I'm going to do. So we'll close the eyes and begin to connect with your breath. Right. I do think it's something that we all wonder. I wonder it a lot. It's a great question. It gave me an opportunity to reflect on it, which was really cool. And some really interesting things have come through, so I want to share that with everybody. But let's see what else comes through now that we're all together. So just take a couple of minutes connecting with our breath and coming into and connecting with our own sacred rhythm, allowing the rhythm of the drum to bring us into resonance with ourselves and with the earth, calling in all of our guides and ancestors, friends, family, loved ones, all of those that hold our highest good and well-being at the forefront of their hearts and minds. Call in and on all 7 of the directions: east, south, west, north, above, below, and within. Call on all of the elements: earth, air, water, fire, and ether. Just connect with your breath, soften the body, and just notice anything that's arising for you. Taking some nice deep breaths. Noticing any sensations, awarenesses, wisdom, and knowing that may have arisen, inspired by this question that was asked. And when you feel ready, if you wish to open the eyes, you may. Okay, so I want to repeat the question again, just so people know what we're talking about. Gaining clarity from spirit around a hard choice. When the answer is open to it going a few different ways, and spirit is essentially mirroring that I create my life, how to figure out what is the highest good, what clarifying questions to ask, what process to go through. This is an amazing, amazing question. So the first few things that come to mind that were showing up to me when I was meditating on this just a few minutes ago was that oftentimes one of the first things that's needed for me in my experience, and of course that's the only thing that I can draw on from this is how I've experienced making big decisions, is the idea of first and foremost trusting myself. Really diving into that place of knowing that no matter where I am in the decision-making process, no matter how clear I might feel or how confused I might feel, that it's exactly where I need to be, because there are things that are unfolding for me along the path. And so it's when I feel into big decisions, it kind of lives in my body in my low belly and sort of that region. When I'm meditating on this, when I was meditating on this, I was seeing it in my pelvis. And it's very much like unraveling a ball, kind of, you know, like it's like unraveling a ball of twine, but it's not an organized ball of twine. It's like a ball of twine that has a lot of knots in it, and you have to take your time as you follow that thread, and sometimes you come in contact with a knot, right? Like you find a knot and you have to be with that knot. Like, I know for me, when I've actually had to to unravel knots and twine, I can get really frustrated because it sometimes feels like it's impossible. Like you're never gonna find that perfect way to release the thread so that then you can move on to the next piece, right? But it's really like that. So first and foremost, I think it's a lot about patience with ourselves. It's patience with our process, and really giving ourselves the necessary space and nurturing to be where we are as we learn to take those steps. So the other piece is that, or there's several other pieces, is that sometimes I will notice when I'm making a big decision that there's an inner critic that's very much present in the process with me. And that inner critic is carrying some perhaps old and outdated patterns of communication, old outdated stories. So when I think about the fact that I can be the creator of my own life, I know that when I make decisions that feel really good to me, that like I'm just excited about, there's nothing else really coming into it. It just, I'm following my emotional navigation towards the thing that feels the most uplifting, the most expansive, the most nurturing, the most authentic to my being. Now, just because I am recognizing that does not mean that I'm actually ready to make that choice. That's the interesting thing about it, because it's our process, right? Like, it takes time. It's so again, coming back to the idea of patience, coming back to the idea of trusting yourself and knowing that you're worthy to have your utopic life. Like, so when it comes to clarifying questions, the first question that I will ask myself is, how do I want my life to feel? And how does making this choice, and whichever path I choose to go, how does it either support how I want my life to feel? So if I'm focusing on ease and flow and abundance and having, knowing that I am able to have everything that I want, what does that mean? How does making this choice either support that or not support that? And this is where I notice a lot of times the inner critic comes in. It wants to tell me that I have to work really hard. It wants to tell me that, bring up, I don't know why abundance always seems to come into these things, but for me, it generally does, regardless of whether it's a decision about my professional life or my personal life, relationship, whatever it is, right? And so oftentimes my belief around my worth and what I'm worthy of always comes up. And any stories that I have that kind of dampen my ability to just let my light shine fully and completely. So once again, we're brought back, or I'm being brought back to thinking about that first card in the tarot deck, the Fool. We keep revisiting this card in these sessions, which I think is really interesting. It has a lot to teach us. It's about not knowing you're going on a journey, but having no idea how you're going to get there or what's going to happen along the way. Because once we make a choice to take a direction, right? That's it. We don't know what's going to come from that. Even if we are pretty good at tuning into our intuitive and psychic abilities, right? In all reality, we don't know what lies ahead. And so there's that having faith. And then the other thing that really comes to mind is this idea of remaining still until it's time to move. And when it's time to move, or when it's time to take action, there's nothing else to do. So the energy of having to make a choice is only present until the clarity of the choice being made has revealed itself to you. And it's that being comfortable in that uncomfortable state as you sit and kind of stew in your own process and just allow yourself to learn and from what it is that's showing up for you, and the information that's coming in as you're sitting with the decision. So again, I think patience is key. Awareness of the inner critic is key. And it's also important to ask perhaps the question of, like, what is it that I'm afraid of? Because if we're feeling resistance towards something that we could be really excited about, it might have to do with fear sort of taking a bigger role in driving the energy, right? And just noticing that and then figuring out how we want to come into relationship with that information. So I don't know if that's helpful at all, but those are some of the things that I think about a lot in reflection based on big life decisions that I've made in the past. Those have been the most important and most helpful. And the more comfortable I've gotten with, trusting myself, and no matter where my choices take me, I know it's exactly where I need to be, the more at ease I am with wherever I am in the process of making a decision. So anyways, I just want to say thank you once again for that question. And any of you out there who have questions that you would like me to address in one of these teachings, one of these sessions, I would really love to hear from you. So let's take a few moments here and just connect with our breath. Close the eyes. Gently begin to allow the awareness of the breath to bring us into our heart center. And here I'm seeing and visualizing that inner sacred fire within the cave of our heart. Sitting before the eternal flame of creation that we all carry, feeling the warmth of the fire on our face, taking notice of whatever space we're sitting in front of this fire. If we are sitting in a cave, what does it look like? What does it feel like? Who or what is in this cave with you right now? Perhaps if you are sitting with a really big choice, you could ask your higher self, your soul self, your expanded consciousness self to sit across this fire from you. And perhaps ask her or him this question, present it to them, and ask for guidance from your highest self, from the aspect of yourself that is beyond name and form, that's beyond this material world, that is already in full union with great mystery, spirit, God, whatever name and form you wish to use, and already knows your full potential. So just take a moment here. What is this higher aspect of yourself encouraging you towards? When we step more fully into our authenticity, where our energy can flow even more freely and unobstructed, by limiting beliefs and stories and programs, the more that what we have to bring to this world, our sacred energy, it's allowed to flow effortlessly. And it's so needed right now. Whatever that is, the fullest expression of you, whatever that is, we need that. We all need that. We need to see it. We want to hear from you. We want to, and it's not even so much about talking about it, but it's just being it. Because by doing that, you are setting an example. And by setting that example, by just doing that, you are showing how it's done and giving people permission to more fully express themselves and their creativity and their gifts and their talents. So all of you that are listening to this right now, if there's anything that you're holding back for any reason, I encourage you to continue to nurture bringing that forward. Because it's pure magic. I can feel the energy around that. Oh, that's so nice. It has this really beautiful, light, white kind of feeling to me, like white light, very high vibrational. Could feel everybody's energy like really lift. I love teaching like this. It's so interesting. Learn such different things. Good. So if you received any insight from your higher self, offer gratitude and appreciation. Give thanks and know that you can come back here to commune with your inmost self anytime you want, anytime you have questions, anytime. Good. So, as you're ready, you may begin to once again find your way to your breath. Start to wiggle fingers, wiggle toes. Take a stretch. Oh, this is good. So paying attention to the agreements we have made with ourselves, regardless of our awareness with these agreements. I try to pay attention to that when asking which direction is for my highest good, and to ask for clarity in it so I can start letting them go or changing them. That's great. Nice. Thank you for that. Just want to make sure that I didn't miss any questions. Okay, cool. So I just want to thank you all again for joining me today. I really appreciate it. So Probably later today, maybe tomorrow. I'm not sure yet. I'll post it. I'm going to come on live and I'm going to do a reading from the 13 original clan mothers on Listening Woman, the clan mother of the 5th moon cycle. So I'm excited about that. We did that for April and people really enjoyed it. So I want to go ahead and do that again. Please reach out to me if you have questions that you would like for me to address during one of these sessions. I'll continue to come onto Facebook Live 8:30 Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I'm not sure. Do you have a suggestion for what is a good time for you? So I don't have a particular time in mind yet. Sometime today I would like to do it because it is the 1st, and so I'd like to set out, So maybe this evening, come on this evening around, 5? I'm not sure, something like that. Anyways, keep me posted, let me know. Just message me if you have a time that you feel like is really good. Otherwise, I'm just going to intuit it. And I'm just gonna come on, so I'm not really sure yet. Anyways, yeah, so I'm gonna do that reading. I'll continue to do the inner guide flow on Wednesday nights. Lunch or evenings is best, but I can jump on whenever. Okay, cool. So yeah, that sounds good. I'll sit with it and I will put a message up on Facebook to let people know when I'm gonna do it. So yeah, I'll either do it at lunchtime or do it after 5, but I'll sit with it and kind of see what feels right. Okay, cool. All right. So yeah, I'm also continuing to do sessions by donations for people, whether it's intuitive readings, coaching, mentoring, Reiki, yoga, whatever. So I'm doing basically hour-long sessions completely by donation. So if you're feeling called to ask questions or to get guidance on something or to deepen your yoga practice, whatever it is, please let me know. Or if you have any other suggestions or requests. Yeah, and I'm continuing to make drums and get lots of requests for that, so that's exciting. I have a new drum that I'm getting ready to send out that I learned a lot from, and so yeah, I'm really looking forward to presenting that drum. So anyways, I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. I love how I can really feel you when you're on, and yeah, I hope you all have an incredible day. Please reach out with questions, requests, anything at all. I'm completely open and receptive. All right, you all have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you all soon.